Hi, my name is Parker Buzik, and this is my speech over the American prison system and a little bit about other countries too, but specifically the American prison system. But first, let me show you my audience. Count them, that's 5 people. So, the Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. What do all these movies have in common? Well, what they have in common is that we, the audience, sympathize for the prisoners in it. We feel bad for their situation. Well, why is that? That's because the American prison system is very corrupt and cruel and should be changed, in my opinion, but I'm just here to tell you about the statistics. I've always been interested in prisons. I've researched them a lot, read up about them, and so that's why I'm here giving you the speech. Also, in this speech, we will talk about the Stanford Prison Experiment, as well as some statistics that back up my point, as well as compare the American prison system to other countries and other examples. So, first, the Stanford Prison Experiment. Why are prisons so cruel? Well, a man by the name of Philip Zimbardo wanted to find that out for sure, and so he conducted an experiment. He was a psychology teacher at Stanford University. And what he did was he rallied up a bunch of students, interviewed them, found 24 of them that had good mental health, were good students, and all around regular, everyday people. And he took them and he flipped a coin, and he put 12 of them as prisoners and 12 of them as guards, and he set up a mock prison in a hallway at Stanford University, and he conducted a little experiment where he just watched. He told the prisoners they could do whatever they want, or he told the guards that they could make up their own rules, do whatever they want, kind of how an actual prison would work, and then the prisoners had to do, essentially, whatever. There was no guidelines or rules. He just put them in a room, gave them cells, and that was about it. And the results were astounding. According to the Stanford Prison Experiment organization's page, the experiment was supposed to go on for 2 weeks. However, they had to cut it up they had to end it after just 6 days because the conditions in the prison were getting so bad and the guards were mistreating the prisoners so poorly that they actually had to end it for the safety of the prisoners. Not only that, but after only 36 hours into the experiment, a student had to be removed, or a prisoner had to be removed because of extreme psychological trauma, because he was being abused and psychologically manipulated, and so he actually had to leave. And so that's the Stanford Prison Experiment. Next, let's talk about some statistics about the American prison system. So, you may not know this, but America, the United States, has about 4% of the world's population. Well, of that, we also have about 22% of the world's prison population. That's pretty insane. About 698 of every 100,000 people in America are in prison. That compares to England, as England is 148 out of every 100,000, and Norway is 71 out of every 100,000. Now, that's a pretty large difference. Well, there's this one prison in New York called the Bard Prison Initiative, and according to the Bard Prison Initiative page, they give their inmates college degrees, they educate them, and they treat them properly, how an actual human being should be treated, and their rate of people that go back to prison after leaving is 2%. Now that compares to the United States, the rest of the prison population. 67.85% of inmates will return to prison within 3 years, as opposed to the Bard Prison Initiative, where it's only 2%. That's a huge difference. But we can also compare it to other countries. There's a prison in Norway called Halden Prison. It is basically like a retirement home. They treat their prisoners super well. They have televisions, game rooms essentially, and what they do is they just treat them really well. They educate them, they teach them how to not be bad, essentially, and it rehabilitates them. And according to the National Public Radio, NPR, organization that did a study on them, it showed that Halden's inmates was about 30%. 30% of their inmates went back to prison, as opposed to America's 67.85%. Now that's a pretty big difference. And to wrap up, I'll just show you a little visual aid I got. It's a chart of the prison population across different countries. As you can see, in 2008, United States was #1 in the prison population. And that's all I got for you. So let me show you my audience and see if I have any questions. All right, it would appear they don't have any questions. That's it, and thank you very much.